All right, everyone. We're on with Blair Hope. He's from the Hope for Life Foundation. I'm gonna flash a hat real quick in front of the cameras and I want to you know um yesterday was Veterans Day. Pretty important day, especially this latest Veterans Day is quite important. We just kind of closed down a veteran making machine with Afghanistan, and hopefully we can take a minute, take a breath, and recover and allow our veterans to recover. But a friend of the show, Stevie, brought me down this hat and provided so we can get another hat. Which, yes, I did find it in there, Stevie. That was way cool of you. Thank you very much.
Very cool hat, Steve.
And when I got this hat, and it's a good looking hat. It's got the logo that you see up in the top left. If you're watching this, if you're listening to it, it's got a really good looking logo. It's a soldier kneeling down with his weapon.
And there's a story behind the logo too, isn't there?
Yeah, and we're going to catch up on that. But again, thank you, Stevie, and big special thanks to all the veterans out there. And we're going to let Blair kind of take it away and tell us the story of him, him and then him starting this foundation. And this is a local veterans foundation. It's a Tooele County foundation. So
if you want to make a local impact, here we go.
Yeah, support local. Let's bring it home. All right. Take it away, Blair.
Hey guys, thank you so much, Dave and Jared. This is phenomenal. It's actually kind of one of our, I don't want to say a dream, but a part of our vision and getting this story of the foundation out there. You know, two of my favorite words are marketing and exposure. And you can't do that unless you use the words you use is network. Mm-hmm. You have to network what's going on. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to be on the show and to get the word out. And thank you for mentioning and recapping our Veterans Day. Thank you to all our veterans out there. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here and to discuss what's going on with the Hope for Life Foundation is because of them, current, past, and future. But more importantly, reaching those veterans and the veteran status and how they contribute confidently to our community. And I'll get to that. But I think before I start about the Hope for Life Foundation, it might be important to understand the background of why we decided to start the foundation. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, go into it.
So not to, and believe me when I tell you, not to be narcissistic or arrogant. It's not about me, right? I've just been fortunate enough to be, I guess, a tool in someone's hand to execute this program. And I say that because I'm a veteran myself, served in the United States Navy, very proud, a disabled vet. And, I was one of those guys that when I was disabled and got out, I was extremely, extremely arrogant and egotistical, and I didn't need help. I didn't need money. I didn't need anything, right? And so I got out of the Navy, married my beautiful wife, now of 27 years. Oh, my gosh. But I put her through 20 years of hell, to be quite frank with you. And she always encouraged me to get help, made me get help. I didn't listen. I tried to. And finally one day I literally imploded. And I broke down. 3 years ago, I couldn't tell you that I don't want to get emotional, man, but holy crap.
No, just let it out, brother.
I couldn't tell you this 3 years ago because I was just that arrogant. I was very compartmentalized, and it was none of your business, quite frankly, right? Mm-hmm. And that was nothing against you. It was just my protection. My walls were up. And so when I broke, I always told my wife, when the day comes, I'm both feet in when I get help. And that's what happened. I don't want to go into my personal story too much, but I got help. And I went through 12 hardcore weeks of therapy. And between that journey of those 12 weeks and what's happened afterwards, and I think the correct word's epiphany, I'm not sure, but like I told you before, laying in bed, being told this is what you're going to do, was absolutely phenomenal. And when I started out, I thought, you know what, my kids or grandkids just need to hear my story, right? Called a journal entry. So I wanted to write this book. And the book's called Is There Hope? God Gives Hope. Yeah, it might be a cliche on my last name. I get it. But hope's a powerful word. Hope,
Something to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, you came into this world with that last name. May as well run with it.
I like that.
You know?
There's your gift from God right there.
Yeah.
But so as I started writing this book and gaining resources and talking to friends, this is when this epiphany came. And so I shared it with a few people. Now, this is all pre-pandemic, right? And so I was really scared, and it's my name. I got to put it out there. And so in the December time frame, a couple of guys that I wanted to be on my board said, dude, Blair, what are we doing? Are we going to do this thing or not? And I said, no, it's just not the right time. Now, here's what's really cool. I don't like being told I'm wrong. So they said, no, Blair, you're wrong. Now's the perfect time. And I said, okay, educate me. And they said, because, you guys are familiar with the Valhalla Project, right?
Uh-huh. Yes.
So we're losing 22 vets a day. But it was proven through the pandemic that we're losing 30 plus vets a day. 30 plus vets a day.
Yeah, the pandemic took what was already a tragedy and turned it up to 11.
Right.
It amplifies depression.
It did. It was an unfortunate compounding interest in the negative way.
Yes.
And it sucked. And so they're like, it was already bad enough, but exponentially, if you will, the wrong way, it's driving it down. And so now is the time. Now is the perfect time. There's no better time than to start this foundation. And we just rocked it. So January we filed, we came up with our business plan, our executive summary, our general plan, and we went to town. And it's scary because we didn't have everything laid out, but we're going great places. So what is the Hope for Life Foundation? What's it all about? So I want to preface it by saying, I have been involved in a lot of veterans groups, and nothing wrong with any of them. They all have a great purpose, great rewards, brotherhood, society, everything, right? But there had to be something different, something more. Meaning this, nothing wrong with like the Wounded Warrior Project or extreme hunts. Those are fantastic events, right? But let me put it this way. I have a guide, and we do use hunting in our program, but as a reward. But let me just preface it this way. We had a guide that said it was last April. Great hunt, great animal, man, great shot, But the guide came to me and says, man.
Bear hunting?
No, it was elk. It was a spring elk hunt. Or was it buffalo? Shoot, I can't remember now. Anyways.
Either or, it sounds delicious.
Yeah, to be honest with you. But he's like, I feel horrible. I'm like, why? What, why? And he said, because even though that was a great shot, a great animal, that vet is still messed up. And I can't do anything about it.
Mm.
And I said, Tyler, you just confirmed exactly why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because the Hope for Life Foundation, our vision statement is enabling and empowering veterans to be confident, contributing citizens in their community. Well, how do you do that? You cannot be confident unless you heal inside first, right? Mm-hmm. We have to heal here, connect to the head, and connect to above. Whatever above looks like, I don't care what it is, but you got to connect, right? That supreme being, whatever he is, and we know that, and so we were able to develop a program, and I'm going to talk about that for a minute. But whoops, shoot, I would have put that away, huh? But I want to spill. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You ain't hurt nothing.
We built a program to where we had to have a foundation. I don't know, is that the right word? Platform for an assessment period for the vets to go into to know how to help, right? And so this is a long-term program. It's not a love them, leave them, I call it, program. It's long-term. And so we develop a program where if a veteran wants to join, not to join, that's kind of a bad word, to partner with our foundation to receive help, we invite them to go through a retreat. Now, it's a 44-hour hardcore soul-searching retreat. Mm-hmm. And this thing is absolutely phenomenal because, by the end of the week, I've coined a phrase, and now you two are veterans, and by the way, thank you for your service. But you'll resonate with this, I think, because I've coined a phrase where the veterans become, after this weekend, positively vulnerable. Now think about that for a minute. We don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's not comfortable.
That's one of the hard things I think with veterans particularly is, well, one, I think the ones that come back with the scars from where they were, they come back and they had a brotherhood, and that was theirs, and that was theirs there. And then when they come back, they don't generally reach out and try to build another brotherhood.
Exactly.
It's hard to find those scenarios where you can actually build bonds like that in,
Right.
in the civilian world.
Exactly. Civilian world. And you just coined it perfectly, because we don't want to talk to anyone, right? And if we're going to talk to somebody, it's going to be another vet.
Yeah,
Right.
generally, yeah.
Because they relate, they understand, we can open up. So when you're positively vulnerable, I believe it sets you up for our slogan. And our slogan is, what's the next step? I don't know. I'm not Dave. I'm not Jared, right? And so we have therapists on board, and they do another assessment, and then we set you up. Actually, let me back up. So we do a first assessment, right? And we kind of do a. Have you ever taken the color code test? Red, orange, green.
For like personalities or
Exactly. Personality assessment test, right?
I've seen it. I haven't taken
Yeah.
it.
Well, along that test, we do it's a color test, but it's your personality, but it matches the anger, the fear, the shame, the guilt, right? Well, those are demons, right? Those are inner demons that we all deal with. And if we don't deal with them appropriately, they'll eat us alive, literally. And they'll kill us,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because all four of those things defeat confidence. And I submit to you that anytime someone tastes gunmetal or tests the strength of a rope, because they lack confidence, either at that moment, obviously, or long term,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We lose our manhood. I mean, right? Call it what it is, right? But it's still there. We just need someone to help us get it back, right?
Yeah.
And so we do that because now we know how to measure them through this weekend. And then after the weekend's done, we do another assessment. And like I said, it sets them up for what's next. And so we've built four pillars, if you will: spiritual health, mental well-being, physical empowerment, and financial confidence. So again, in our worldly view of things, I would submit to you that any one of those four things, or all four of them, right, again, can lead to a lack of confidence, right? Bills, credit, finances, well, the mental health can go anywhere. I mean, to family, to politics, to work, whatever, right? I mean, there's just some evil demons out there, and there's a power working against us. Let's be honest, right? And so, but we've channeled a program to help them build milestones. So if Dave comes to our program and says, these are my issues, what's going on, and so the therapists work with them and say, okay, here's your plotted out deal, and he figures out, or they figure out, what that marker, that milestone is. And if Dave's a hunter, right, or a duck hunter, an elk hunter, whatever, or he's a golfer, I don't know what he is, what turns him on, right? Then once he reaches that milestone, then we issue the reward, right? That to me is cool, because now there's teeth in the game. Now he feels like he's earned something, right?
I'm trying to get Dave into hunting.
Well,
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll
There you
cook
go.
it. I'll eat it. I might even help you drag it out of the woods. but
There's
That's the hardest part.
that's the part you dread every time you lay down and look at the animal through the sights. That's the part you're dreading. You're like, do I want to carry this one?
that looks very big.
Is it worth it?
That is awesome.
But the harvesting to the process to the table.
And that just goes back
It's
to
an important
confidence
thing.
too. I mean,
Exactly.
think about this. When you know how to process your own food, what a confidence booster that is for a man. I mean, it's one of those masculine things that helps reaffirm your social status as the gender that God has selected
Unless
for
you're
you.
one of my old Native American buddies. He would shoot it and drive it home, throw it in the driveway. But anyways,
No, that's good.
no,
So,
yeah.
There's several things that we build upon. One of the cool things that we're starting is, obviously you as veterans, and I don't know, we can all come across as having a mask or a facade, good or bad, right? Doesn't matter. But we all hold inner stuff. I have found most of us do, regardless of who we are.
Yeah, even more than veterans. That's just men in general.
Yeah. Exactly.
Would you like to meet my representative?
Yeah, it's just how men are. It's I don't know if it's a vulnerability thing or I mean, it probably dates back to when we were the breadwinner, and if we were going to have someone take a chance on us business wise, we had to show them a side of us that didn't scare them away. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. And kind of a good segue because, man or not, veteran and man or veteran or not, one of the things we come against is we talked about a veteran has a hard time talking to anyone, especially if it's a veteran, right? But anyone,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't want to tell a story, good, bad, ugly. Whatever, and so we've developed a program where not only can say Dave can get comfortable with us, build confidence to talk to me, to talk to you and I. Well, that's a bonus, right? I mean, for some people, that's a huge milestone.
Mm-hmm.
But what if he talks to 8-10 people, right?
Including a therapist,
Right.
including maybe if he needs to find faith, or if he needs to find everything else.
Right. And so what if he tells a story with 30 people? So we built a program where it's not a reading club, it's a self-improvement club.
Mm-hmm.
And so now all of a sudden Dave's building confidence where he just wants to tell a story, kind of like why I want to write my book, right? I don't care what my book does, as long as my kids can read it, I'm fine with that. It's my journal, rock on. If something else, obviously I talk about the foundation of my book, but it's my own thing. Well, Dave wants to tell a story, and you know what? He just wants to be confident enough and strong enough to get up in front of an auditorium of 50 people. Awesome. That's part of his program. Now let's say he wants to put it in writing, right? So he puts it in writing, and now it's kind of published, even if it's an essay, right? So, and we've got one guy working on a book. He'll print his book. We're going to have an audience of 200 people. Well, the foundation will buy his book. He'll sign 200 copies, and now he gets to give it away. Huge. But why do I say that? It's all about confidence. It's all about confidence. And to help that along, we have guest speakers lined up. And veterans and not both, right? I mean, a good buddy of mine, Chad Hymas, has agreed to support us on that. I know Chad well. We played ball together when he was physically able. And but he tells a heck of a story, right? But there's other veterans and other people that have similar stories that sometimes nobody hears about. Why? Because they don't dare share it. There's no confidence, right? And so how awesome it is to set the stage to enable and empower them to make that happen, right? And so another thing I want to mention about our foundation is a couple things. One, the VA gets a bad rap, in my opinion. The VA is there for a medical purpose, right?
Yeah.
Medicinal, medical therapy, right? Medicine, help. They're not there for the brotherhood society. Issue.
That's true. And they've
Right.
been, and now I'm going to throw this out there. In a lot of cases, the VA has earned their bad rap.
I get you. you.
When someone's on the emergency hotline,
Yep.
put on hold, and they commit suicide while they're on hold.
Yeah.
But that's not the VA's fault. It's not like the VA's a person that's
Right.
wearing one of those dunce
Right.
hats from the 40s.
Right.
The VA is an organization that it takes us, the people, the will to make it what we want it to be.
Right. You're exactly right.
And let's face it, across the board, federally, we failed on all accounts.
Amen. We have. Luckily for where we live, I think our Salt Lake VA is pretty awesome.
I'm telling you,
We got a good VA in Salt Lake.
Salt Lake has one of the best VAs in the nation. I shouldn't say this on the internet. Tooele has the best DMV in the history of the United States government.
Do you work
How'd you
for the
figure that
DMV?
out?
How long what's the longest you've ever stood in line at that DMV?
I don't think I ever have stood in line at that DMV.
Longest I've stood in line, busiest day, 25 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
That's
That's
long
record breaking anywhere. And never once have I walked up to that desk and had one of those ladies yell at me and throw a stapler. So yeah,
I think I
I'm
just
telling
caught
you,
on.
we're winning. And I think it's the people here, but I think
Some of these things I wouldn't think of without Jared. The best DMV.
federally we need to one, we need to not get into so many wars. Two, we need to make it, we can make a choice. We can either make the VA better or make a system where veterans receive an insurance benefit so that they can shop outside at their own.
Yeah.
And that's our only two choices.
Exactly. And so another thing I would bring up about the foundation, or the reason for the foundation, is there's a huge fallacy out there on PTSD, right? You know, post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress syndrome or disorder or whatever, right? And that is believe me when I tell you, especially after I've been involved in this foundation for almost a year now, is a lot of people think you need to be shot or maimed or cut up to experience PTSD. And I got to tell you, my mind went everywhere on that. I mean, my best friend's a cop. I mean, he's battled PTSD. I mean, anyone can do it, vet or not, fireman, whatever, right? But the reality is you don't have to be maimed or hurt or cut at all. And I say that because a lot of people dismiss these vets specifically. You grow up, you grow a set of balls, whatever, you know, deal with it. No, they can't deal with it. It's a big deal. And that's one of the things, one of the major things we deal with is because unfortunately PTSD is one of the leading causes to suicide, to alcoholism, to drug addiction. And unfortunately,
to destroyed marriages.
They
to
do, absolutely.
Financial insecurities, to losing your job, to, not being able to cope with the modern world.
Right.
And I think it goes more than vets on this. I think it goes to men.
Exactly.
We've lost brotherhood because it's all gone to this internet thing. Where men used to say, I'm joining a bowling league. I'm going to leave the wife and kids at home on Thursdays, and I'm going to go wreck some pins or, whatever.
Right.
And those things are dying. I mean, everything across the board is down.
We're kind of stuck at home. I mean, like, really stuck.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. No way out.
But it's not just that, but your friends. Or let's say equalized friend groups. So the younger guys are coming up. Like right now, my son, no desire to join an outside extracurricular activity. But that's because he grew up in a time, in a world where the communication, the activity was via the internet.
Yep.
And guys older than me, I'm in a halfway area. Guys older than me are like, I don't want to touch that thing. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go, stare at a chunk of concrete drying with my buddy, and we're just going to stand and look at it and talk. And so we're losing what we've known as brotherhood. And I think we'll come out the other side and something will be different, but
No, I agree. So imagine an organization that is set to enable and empower vets, men, to once again socially engage in society, right? To whatever it is, financial, physical, social, whatever it is, will help them do that. But here's what's really cool about our program. When I say it's long term, it's one thing to save a man's life, right? It's one thing to prevent him from committing suicide or the thoughts of it, right? But that's not the true ROI, believe it or not. The true ROI is...
Now, what's ROI?
Return on investment. My apologies. That's not the true return on investment. So all of our monetary investment, our spiritual, our social, our resources poured into this vet. We win. He doesn't take his life. We win. That's awesome. But when he gives back,
that's where you get your positive.
To the community, to the foundation, to his family, that's true ROI. Now he's affecting others. Why is that important? Because that confidence just gets more solid, right? More thicker. That's not right.
In your community, and
right.
And look, we're getting old. We're gonna rely on this guy's kids one day.
Right.
And so
Right.
he makes good kids. We got something we can rely on.
Exactly. And
like
when he wants to give back, dude, watch out. Everybody wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, now we come down to the point where, how do you fund all this, right? So right now we're all volunteers, and it's going to remain that way. But there are huge raw costs for our programs. Not the resources. We've been very lucky to have all the resources donated. I mean, doctors and therapists and financial advisors and realtors. It's donated. It's amazing, and we have all that together. It's kind of like a one-stop shop deal. But when you put on this weekend, 44 hours, so it's 4 days. There's a cost to that, and it's a few $100 plus per veteran, right?
Yeah.
And so we ask vets to contribute an amount, so there's teeth in the game,
Mhm.
right? And quite frankly, there's a little clause in our registration link that says, what you pay or what you can pay is between you and your creator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here to tell you, if a vet can't pay a thing, he doesn't pay a thing. We don't care. No questions asked. If he can pay it all, he pays it all, whatever, right? But the foundation picks up the rest.
But his payment might come in. Maybe he donates some time
Exactly.
next year.
Yeah, exactly. And believe me when I tell you, that's where our prayers and investment are, is in hopes that he does have confidence, at least to give to himself and his family,
Right.
and then give back, right? But the blessing of that is we've had a couple retreats and we've been across the board, free to paid in full, right? But we don't care. That doesn't matter. And we're just getting started. And so a lot of these other things will cost money as well. They'll accrue, lots of costs. And so, unfortunately, you have to have that business hat on. And you still have to raise money.
Marketing is marketing.
So
It's
I've
gotta be
become
done.
that professional groveler.
So you're that guy that got peeled out from the herd to be chased by lions.
That's right.
You're the slow antelope on the Sahara.
Do you guys take Bitcoin for donations?
We haven't explored Bitcoin, to be quite frank with you. Everything else but that.
Well, you should probably talk to Dave after we're done with this.
I figured he might bring that up. He's a believer in that. But we should figure out something. But obviously on the marketing campaign, we have the hats and T-shirts and I actually brought a couple gifts for you guys.
Oh,
just
boy.
for having me on board. It's
Yeah, I've
kinda
been
cool.
checking out your site. You guys have cool stuff. You got the coins.
We do have coins.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of proud to show that sucker off.
Look at
This is a good looking coin right here. This is something you'd go to the bar and bust it out and get a free drink for it if the other guy forgot his.
Very sexy.
That is a
man.
very good looking coin.
That's going on my coin holder at work.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a good time. So on the one side of the coin, that's our logo, right?
Yes.
And so
So tell us about it.
I'd like to. So obviously it's the United States flag, the ensign of liberty and freedom, right? Productivity behind. Then you got the soldier kneeling, right? Who's he kneeling to? Well, in my opinion, he's kneeling to that supreme being, right? Whatever that supreme being is. But what I think is most powerful about that logo is what's on his back. I mean, what's shining on his back.
It's like the sun is shining down
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
rays
Like,
of hope.
Mhm.
That's rays of hope because God does give hope. He's there, right? And again, this isn't a religious thing. That's not my point, right? But it's a supreme being saying, I haven't forgotten. We haven't forgotten. We're there for you. And I think that's extremely important because, you and I both know when we're in our lowest part in our life, we're alone.
Yeah. I really believe
And-
that the moment we stop realizing there's something bigger than ourselves, that's when the demons
Amen.
win.
Amen. And you're going to have somebody. I don't care how big of a man you think you are. If you think you don't need anybody, you're a liar. I'm just saying. I just think you're a liar because your walls are so built up. Because I've been there. I was
Depression doesn't care
that guy. That's right.
how much you can lift, how fast you can run.
Depression is stronger. Much stronger.
Depression doesn't care.
No.
And it absolutely does not.
Right. So I
This
give
is this is a very good coin.
thank you.
It is.
You would make any brigadier general jealous with this coin.
Oh, you can tell you were in the military when you get coins of this quality.
Well, it's not just that, but the back of it, the detailed inlay.
So on the back it says Project Hope. Project Hope is the name of our campaign, our scholarship
Now,
campaign.
I would argue you don't have Space Force on here, so I don't know if this is
I
legitimate
don't.
for much longer.
Honestly, when it was
we haven't
designed-
had any traumatic Space Force injuries yet.
In my defense, they didn't exist.
You don't know that.
Oh, I do. I do.
You don't know that there's Tic Tacs all over the place. Those things are flying everywhere. Hey,
I get called for the ergonomic survey.
that guy
That's
might be
awesome.
waking up in the middle of the night screaming, "I got probed," and you don't know that. You
man.
can't say that out loud.
Oh,
But no, this is
save it for the other podcast, Jared.
this is a very fine coin.
thank you.
This is beautiful.
So for you guys that like patches, we have a patch. You can go on your cut,
Yep.
on your motorcycle jacket, whatever the case, or your gear, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
It's
That's the emblem
awesome.
there for anyone watching. It's also the emblem that's up in the top
Very cool.
corner.
Now,
The back of the coin, I don't know if this does it justice on a dinky camera, but this is a fine coin.
Now, do you go through the same company to make all this, or do you actually spread out the?
I spread it out. So they're both local. Actually, all of them are local. That's made by somebody else. That's Symbol Arts. They're up in Logan. So I consider Utah local.
So
Yeah,
we got a Utah guy that's making coins. Nice.
Yeah. And then the guy in South Jordan does the patches. Awesome. Now, I thought you guys would have a water bottle, and I would accuse you of your water bottle being naked.
Oh yeah.
That's got to go on your water bottle.
All right. Very
So-
nice.
Got a sticker with the whole.
So it's just swag, right? You got to have swag to bring in some money. But again, it's not about the money.
and that also helps advertise.
It's about the cause. It's all about the cause. And so two things I want to bring up, if I may. Coming up
Yeah,
on the
definitely.
veteran side themselves, our next scheduled retreat is April 29th through May 1st in Ogden at Camp Kiesel.
Camp Kiesel.
Right.
Is that the that's the is that the Ogden Police training site?
No, believe it or not, it's
Camp
the Boy
Kiesel.
Scout camp.
Oh, okay,
Up,
yeah, that's
up
why it
Ogden
sounds familiar.
Canyon. Yeah.
I know where that's at. That's a
And-
beautiful place up there.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Ogden Canyon is one of the finest looking canyons in this state.
You know what? Pineview Reservoir. It's pretty great.
And the paper mache dinosaurs in that little park up there.
That's right.
You want to see dinosaurs that look worse than
I
a
forgot about
70s cartoon?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's funny.
I
love
must have
that
missed
place.
that last time I was up there.
But as a cool little segue, though, we use scout camps or a Christian camp. Or like one of the ones we had before was a Christian camp. It's all about price and location. I mean, it is what it is, right? Because
Right.
we're nonprofit.
Yeah.
But one of our long-term business goals is to have our own lodge in Tooele County. I want to have a piece of land with a lodge that's a neutral zone for our retreat. And I even talked about our family retreat. So we start out with the veterans retreat themselves. It's all about them. Then we have a family retreat where the family comes up and the wife has a session, the kids have a session, the vets have a session, and then we bring it all together, right? And it's not a kumbaya thing, don't get me wrong. It's hey, this is what are your inner demons? How can we help? Right? And it's phenomenal. And so that's one of our goals. But then another thing we have, I'm really excited for you guys, and actually I think it'd be rocking if you came. And we are going to have our very first annual fundraising banquet.
Nice.
And here, I brought two. And this
Nice.
bank is talk about, and it's very relevant. Is that the word? I don't know. May 21st, 2022. It's Armed Forces Day.
Yep.
All right. So that is so cool. And this is going to be held at the Royal Creek Ranches. So that's Chad Hymas' ranch, Royal Creek Ranches, out there in Rush Valley.
Real local.
Very local, right? And I would encourage all of us, right? We need some large title sponsors, some table sponsors, and people to eat. We gotta have the food, right? It's
Yeah.
going to be catered by Kelly Kennedy's company called Company Grill. Of course, you guys might know him better here locally as Redbeard Barbecue, right?
Redbeard, where's it at?
Redbeard Barbecue. He lives in South Rim. And he has the Redbeard Barbecue is a truck. It's a little mobile truck. A lot of times he'll be up at the, what do you call that? The food truck area at the old Rocky Mountain Hospital. What's that called up there?
Oh, the old hospital.
The old hospital.
The asylum or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary
He'll go up
place.
there. He travels
The
quite
place
a
I
bit with
was
that thing.
born.
Yeah.
You were born there?
So was my sister.
explains it.
All my kids. all my.
So
my, Alex was born there. My son.
oh wow.
Yeah, my dad was born there. Me and my
So
dad
you were
had
born
the
and bred
same.
here. You?
I'm from upstate New York.
He's from foreign country. My
Upstate
dad.
New York, not that other one.
No, New York City's foreign. Upstate
It is.
Syracuse.
You need a passport to go to New York City from where I am. I'm in the Adirondacks area.
Oh,
No,
beautiful.
you
Yeah.
are hostage You are that country that's held hostage
We
by
are,
a
and they're demoralized too.
greater country.
I go back home and I'm like, we should fight to separate, and they're like, oh no, we can't do that.
they're like whip dogs. But no, my dad was
are.
born there, and we had the same doctor that did the, I don't know what borning doctors do. Is it gynecologists that born kids? Or is it
GYON?
I don't know, but he wasn't. He was a general practitioner.
OB?
Old Dr.
Obstetrician.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was the doctor when my dad was born, doctor when I was born, and the doctor that cleared me to play football in high school. So, yeah. Would you open the door and
You're out, dog.
How old are you?
I am 46.
Okay, so you're close to my age.
Yeah. 46, 47. He's 45, 44,
43.
43. Yeah, we're all
Somewhere in there, you know.
Too
you
soon.
know.
yeah.
But please, all of you, if you're listening.
Yeah, definitely. And I want you to send me a link. We want to advertise this on the happy hour.
Oh, absolutely. We can do that.
Yeah.
And show your support. We're going to have casino entertainment.
Yeah, I'm reading this. So,
Casino entertainment.
Yeah.
so,
So
there are
legal
Should I
in
bring
Utah.
Should I bring my roulette wheel?
Well, no, they're going to have one.
yeah, there's sponsorships available. So reach out to them and find out the sponsorships. But they've got kind of table sponsorships, and this is for the casino part. They've got craps, blackjack, and roulette. Now,
How did you pull that off, man?
It's no monetary tender.
Okay.
So it's all about tickets. It's freaking phenomenal. If you've not experienced this, you need to come. So there will be a wet bar, just saying. And so as you, anyways,
There
as you,
was until I showed up.
well,
it will
you
be
know,
dry.
Everyone's a lush. But when you come in, they're going to give you so many little tickets worth like $200 in fake chips, right?
Uh-huh.
And so you go and gamble those.
Gotcha.
You waste those real quick, just like
Yeah.
every gambler does. And so you can buy it
And
more.
you can buy more tickets.
you buy in
and
more.
also, you know, yeah, no. So that's a good money making deal. Craps is about the funnest thing a human
it
being
is.
can do on
It's
earth.
fun. They're gonna have a silent auction. They're gonna have a live auction. We've already got some awesome quilts, some guns, some hunts. Everything you can think of. It's gonna be phenomenal, and it's really important to know that all of this goes towards the scholarships for the veterans in their program. That's absolutely imperative to understand that.
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
definitely. Now, yeah, and it
And
looks like-
companies can sponsor. What do you get with the sponsorships for the companies here?
So great question. So when you look at the title, what I call title sponsors, that red, white, and blue, and that's kind of our theme, right? Red, white, and blue, patriotic theme. When you pay, $5,000 to be a title sponsor, you're going to get a table. So that's a table of 10, right?
Okay.
So that's a $500 value. And I can't remember how many tickets you get. For the, you get not only your chip tickets, but you're going to get tickets to go in we have little buckets for drawings for
extra drawing.
Yeah,
and you get a little extra, but also you get to hang your banner on your table. You get to advertise your company
and
on
we're
your
gonna
table.
do a video banner. Is that what you call it? It'll
Like one of those virtual telescreens or
exactly.
something like
It'll
that. Yeah,
broadcast
okay.
our sponsors.
Right.
It'll be in our publications, our marketing. So, for instance, take this flyer. And the first people that donate to be a sponsor, we're going to put the logo, all over, and just really broadcast out there who's taking care of us. Like Royal Creek Ranches really took care of us. It was a great deal. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Chad didn't have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But he really wants us to
And
be
he's
there.
got a nice setup going on up there.
If you haven't been to Royal Creek Ranches,
I've driven past it.
dude, I'm telling you, it's a couple
It's-
$1 million lodge.
You can look in there. It's beautiful. That's
Yeah. But he does, and just to put a plug in for him, if I can.
Absolutely.
I mean, he does all kinds of corporate educationals, youth groups.
Yep.
He does pheasant hunts out there.
Yep.
He does motivational courses and classes and
Yep.
lectures. If you don't know Chad Hymas, I got to tell you, to beat all odds, the guy's supposed to be dead. He's
Yep.
a quadriplegic. He could have given up. His wife is absolutely beautiful.
He's
He
a
could have
public
given up.
speaker.
I've been to quite a few. Of his
I've
speeches.
I've been to one
He's
of
a
his
national
speeches.
and world credited speaker.
He's an impressive
He's,
guy.
he's a very good speaker, actually. I was
So-
impressed when I heard his speech.
Yeah.
But I guess, and last but not least, thank you guys, because when it goes back to networking, Dave, if it's not people, and thank you, Stevens, right? Or I think I said that right.
Stevie,
yeah. And for getting the word out, and thanks for having me on here, because
so
I can't do it myself.
The other night, he messaged me and says, "Hey, I'm going to bring you by something." Okay. Yeah, it's great, Sure, I give him my address. I'm out in the garage breaking down a trailer tire, and some guy comes walking up. I've got headphones in, but I hear Jared, and I'm damn near deaf anyway, and made me jump. It's it's dark, 8:30 at night, which right now the time switch, so 8:30 feels like midnight. And he hands me his hat, and he says, "Here, and I'm like, who is this? I haven't heard of this." And he says, "Oh yeah, it's a guy, Blair Hope. He's out of Stockton. He runs this." I was like, "This is freaking awesome." And that was when, I put the tire down on the ground, came in and shot you a message. So I want to thank Stevie for getting us together. I want to thank you for doing this. I think this is hopefully works out to be a bountiful future.
Now, this is an actual 501c3 organization, so any donations can be tax deductible.
Exactly. Yep. And so, if I can end with this, again, thank you. But obviously, every man is important, right? We all want to be men. We all want to be better men, husbands, fathers. I get it.
I would argue with the way that this world's going, we need to focus on that quite a bit.
I agree, and I can't save them all, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I can save all the veterans, but at least I can start. But I want you to understand this. And again, I don't discredit any man or any law enforcement officer, anyone. But I'm focusing on the vets, and we're just losing too many. For the simplest things, as I didn't hear from Dave.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear from Jared. Right? And any cop or any fireman can be the same point. I get it. But we're just trying to be that guy, to reach out. I mean, it's got to stop. It's absolutely got to stop, because, one could call suicide a selfish act. I get it. And quite frankly, I've probably said it in my arrogant days. But the reality is this: you have no idea what that dude's going through.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a wall up that's so thick. And I was that guy, right? And you could think or perceive he has everything he needs to be successful. But you have no idea how fast he's dying inside.
Yeah. And there are successful men.
Yep.
Men who you look at from the outside, who's got the wife, the kids, that looks healthy, that still commit suicide because they're having a struggle, and especially for someone who is, for lack of a better word, gone through some shit.
Right. And
it doesn't have to be combat. It could be childhood. It could be
demons are demons.
Yeah.
Right. All too often, and unfortunately, especially today, and I don't want to get into political stuff with you.
Yeah, because that's only our other shows.
Yeah, right. Because I could banter right along with you, but the reality is society, especially this young generation, has lost touch for and respect for those that protect our freedoms locally and abroad, right? Cops, firemen, us, and they don't understand. They don't get it. And that's one thing. But the thing by default they're not realizing is the lack of respect is compounding on that person in a negative way.
Yeah.
Because if that guy's trying to survive and you dismiss him or her in a way that you could care less or just think he can get over it or buck up, what an injustice.
Yeah.
What an injustice that we give him. And I don't care what you did in the military. I don't care if you're a paper pusher, a gun shooter, a bomb guy, a water guy. I don't care what you did. You served your country and served it proudly. If you came out alive, man, awesome. But that's on the outside. We don't know what's on the inside.
Well, and you don't know what's... Okay, you're starting out focusing on veterans. That's what you know. That's a community you're a part of. They may be suffering PTSD from something that happened after service.
Absolutely.
They might have
Absolutely.
been at a construction site, seen a car wreck, whatever. So you're starting there, and this is something that obviously can expand.
Right.
But it seems like, well, it's our fault. We raise these.
It is our
kids.
fault.
We raise these kids that are
Thumb jockeys.
a lot of me's.
Yeah.
How do you think that happened though? Like, where did we go wrong?
I'll tell you exactly why.
Yeah, tell me.
We're Gen X. We were raised without any boundaries or borders.
Yeah.
We were raised just roaming free. We're just flopping around doing whatever. I was 5 years old and riding my bicycle 12 miles down to the freeway so I could chew tobacco and get nauseous and then stumble back.
Yep.
And so what we did is when we had children, we remembered the nightmares that could have happened in our lives that may have or may not have. So what we did is we folded our wings over them.
Right.
And these young men grew up without getting dirt under their fingernails, without getting a scratch and having to limp it off.
Right. Yep.
And so we made that, and it's a repetitive cycle through human history.
Yeah. And not that I want to give anybody excuses, but look at society. I mean, society is driven both parents to work,
Yep.
right? Sometimes two
Yep.
jobs, 3 jobs. And so
Yep.
what's become the number one babysitter?
Government.
TV,
No.
TV.
Yeah.
video games,
Video
TV,
games,
whatever's on the
Propaganda.
screen.
By the way, when Dave wants to discipline his kid, what does the kid do? Goes and tattletales on him, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if he verbally, structurally disciplined him. Oh, he beat the crap out of me. What? So now we're afraid to talk
It's not
to our
even beat
kids.
the crap. Now,
Right.
if you've said the wrong thing, you
Well-
may have.
There you, there you go.
Well, we would never say the wrong thing, would we, Jared?
I couldn't imagine what a counselor would have had to go through if they had to account for things me and my father said to each other in my
Right,
teenage
right.
years.
When I went to college, I found out the word retard was a bad word. I was shocked.
I found out, a year ago when we had those 2 girls from Black Lives Matter on. They about lost it on me. And I called myself retarded. I don't know why they were pissed off.
So, it's funny you bring up, you're right, because any man can go through these things.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool, another cool thing about our foundation is if you have a veteran that needs to go to our weekend, come with him, right? If it's your dad, come with him. I got to tell you, I went through, I staffed a couple retreats ago. 2 of my sons went through. Now, they're not veterans, but they told me they wanted to go for 2 reasons. One, they wanted to help out with the foundation. And I've kind of asked, and I can't tell anyone anything, but I've kind of asked if people really want to get serious and help out with our foundation, go through this weekend so you understand what we're asking the veterans.
Again, remind us the weekend.
I'm going to go there in a minute.
Okay.
Right, that's okay. Right? Go through it so you experience it. Because I'm telling you what, veteran or not, it will improve your life guaranteed. The other thing is Dad, we want to be close to you. We want to understand you. We want to know how you
How old are your
feel.
sons?
The 2, well, I have a lot of kids, but the 2 that went through, Jonathan is 28. Oh my gosh, 28, and Dalton is 21.
So you had a 21-year-old that jumped on this?
Yeah, and he was, and I got to tell you,
That's outstanding. The 28-year-old, I get it. He's starting to see that manhood in
Yep,
front of him
yep.
and that future. But the 21-year-old,
dude, I wish he was here.
that guy, that kid he's got testosterone up to his ears. He's just living the dream. It's a
Yeah.
different animal back
Well, and you
then.
would think that he doesn't have any demons. Wrong.
Oh no.
Wrong.
Oh.
Dude, it was so powerful for me, and it was kind of funny because the director of the weekend, and God bless him, right, Steve Spicer, he was very cognizant and aware that I'm the dad, and there's certain things you go through that I don't know if the dad caused those things, right? Talk about those things, right?
Yeah.
And so he asked me to back away, and I did, and my son wanted me to as well at the very end because he's protecting my kid as he should, right?
Uh-huh.
Because he's the participant. Well, after my son went through his exercise, he broke down, and all of a sudden they're cuddling, and and I get the finger to come on over, and I apologize.
You're good, man.
Let it out,
He
brother.
breaks down, and I got to tell you, I was an ass. Whoops, sorry, I can't say.
No,
I
you
was a-
can say
I
whatever
was
you
a
want.
butthead raising my kids in the early years. I have to admit that. And I thought for sure he was so pissed off at me because he's beating the hell out of this dummy. And I thought, shit, what did I do? And when I get over there, I'm expecting to get, I don't know, hit, hugged, something. Well, it turns out, see, you never know. It turns out that he didn't want me mad at him because of the things he messed up on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Pride.
like, holy hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? My mind, we talk about narcissism, right?
Shame is a huge one.
And so-
all of my biggest traumas
Yeah.
are all of them pinpoint to something I've done that I am ashamed of.
Shame is actually just as effective as physical torture.
Right.
Oh man,
Right.
I'm telling you right now, I will tell you some shit I've done, but not those things that touch that shame button. You'll
Right.
have to.
Well,
give
and
me-
that's okay. Talking about the weekend. So one last thing for that weekend. So I'm telling you right now, if my two boys were on here, they would rave about this weekend. Tell you why you should go. My boys work so close. We're so much. How do you say that? So much more closer, whatever it is. We're closer now than
you
ever.
bonded.
Absolutely, we did. And my wife sees it, right? And so
So so your wife's like, you need to let me in. I'm pushed out. What the hell?
actually, we have a women's section, so it's coming. So stay tuned.
Good.
But
Now this veterans thing also includes the female veterans.
it will, yeah. So
Good.
if you want me to talk about that, structurally,
Come on, into that mic.
oh,
a
sorry.
little bit.
So structurally, we have to have a platform, right, as a foundation, and to bring the women in, we have to have women that go through because it's a hardcore soul searching deal. So a man's going to talk to a man, a woman's going to talk to a woman. It has to be that way. So until I get enough women veterans to staff a weekend,
So you got to get some women.
I have to.
Some guides, some leaders.
I have to.
Good.
Yeah, I have to. For all kinds of reasons. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
society, moral, ethical.
Even then, I mean, yeah, and still, you want to give them the introduction to this bonding and letting
absolutely.
out
'Cause,
someone
yeah,
that they can.
absolutely.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
reach out to some of the female veterans I know and let them know about this. And
No,
see
beautiful.
if they bite.
And they can still help in the meantime, right?
Yeah,
So back to the weekend. One thing I'll say before this is we talk about those. I want to talk about anger, fear, and shame, and sadness real quick. But before that, there's a great book out there that I highly recommend you get. It's called Be Strong by the name of Steve Spice. He talks about the masks we wear, right? Which mask are you wearing? And that's very important because we wear masks. And I kind of call it on our little flyer here because anger is a mask, right? Is your anger serving you well? I mean, ask yourself that. Is anger serving you well? Right? Fear. Is fear paralyzing your life? I don't know. Is it a truth you got to deal with? Is it your relationship? Is your addiction? I don't know what it is, right? Shame. Is shame running your life? Dude,
that's a very common thing in a lot of men.
absolutely it is.
Any man who's kind of grown comfortable in their life, that probably is the biggest thing that is
Right.
hitting them.
Right. And so sadness, right? Guilt. Are you experiencing loss or depression? And that can be so broad.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Right. And so the bottom line is this, I think. If you're a man that has any desire to be a better man, husband, or father, through improving yourself and serving others, you might want to check out the Hope for Life Foundation.
Good. And we're going to advertise this on our channel. So we're going to put up a link so that all you do is click the button, takes you right to it, but it's Hope for Life. I love it.
And I think, like, if you want to give us a list of your sponsors, too, that are helping
That'd be
you
huge.
out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can probably add
plug
them
in there?
to our plug list because I think this is a pretty worthy cause.
Andrew says, love listening to you, Blair. You're a good man. Now I notice on his finger, you and him are a part of the same cult.
Oh, we are.
Oh, the ring knockers. Me and Andrew are buddies, and Andrew's a good man.
So good.
He is a good man, and I see where you guys tie in together, and it's good. It's good, and that's another thing that has kind of gone away.
Yeah.
Okay, clue me in. What do you got on your finger?
So it's a Mason's ring.
Oh, you're one of the Masons. Okay.
Yes, he's one of the Illuminati.
Yeah, right. A lot of people have bad, connotations of that.
It's fun to talk about. But realistically, I mean, we could go historically on what they are, but it's a community club.
Well, again, it's about men, right? It's a fraternity for men to be a better person. And what is wrong? You know, I got to tell you, I got so pissed off a few months ago when people kept saying, "I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that." Well, quite frankly, you're the problem. And talk about youth, right? Oh, we're too busy. We can't take him there. We can't take her there. I said, wrong. There's no better time than now to get your kids back in those groups because we suffer from this disease. We suffer from the thumb playing disease.
Well,
that's why the kids are the way they're today.
I'm going to tell you right now, that club you're a part of, the organization, is being rebuilt, but it's being rebuilt online. We're going through a time of...
I hear you.
We're going through... Gutenberg invented the press, and it sent the world into shock. It caused a European civil war that lasted 30 years.
Right.
And it was a war just because he introduced the Bible in a language they could understand to the people around him.
Right.
And the internet is the Gutenberg press on steroids with Viagra.
And I agree with you. And if we can use the internet to be positive and productive,
and I think
then it's
we
wonderful.
will.
It's wonderful. But it's also a tool that can be used against us.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
But we have to manage
That will be done too. But it will be used for that.
Absolutely.
It will be, because how many books have come out that have been negative, but overall. Now, there was an argument when that press first came out. People said, we're going to lose our memory. We're going to be, potato heads.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Big argument. Because that verbal memory and reciting histories, it's going to be lost.
You're taking out the shaman from the tribe and
It's
you're
all
replacing
one
it with
way,
a
right?
library.
It was a huge thing.
These libraries are horrible. I got you.
You're all taken in. You're not
It
giving
was
out.
a huge thing.
Not applying
And
it.
now we couldn't imagine living without books.
Right.
And then you
Right.
get the telegraph comes out. And then we have a little civil war soon after that one happened.
Yeah.
So it's a spreading of information. So right now we're at the verge of that. So we're staring on a precipice. We're all scared. We're all nervous. Don't worry about it. Zuckerberg's going to put us into the matrix. We're good.
Hey, I do want to. You brought up Andrew Hall, if I don't mind.
Andrew.
Andrew is an enabler as well because thanks to him and the company you work for. You work for him, right?
Yeah.
I got. I'm going to shout out, if I may. Cargill Salt was a sponsor.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a little plug I want to do is when a company like Cargill Salt wants to donate to our foundation, we actually, and I should have brought a picture, I apologize, but we frame up a really nice inserted, we do the coin,
Yeah.
we do the patch and a certificate of approval on there. And telling them thank you, and we say the name. So Cargill Salt went on there. So we done Cargill Salt.
Build them a little plaque.
Exactly. So they can hang on the wall. And again, it's not about the patch or the coin, so what, right? But it's about the cause, And so Aaron Godden and Joe Boulay and Rocky Mountain Sports, they've been different sponsors of ours, and the Hunsaker family. And so we do shout outs on our website, on our Facebook page to give them recognition. Now, some people don't want to be recognized, but I still think it's cool.
It's a big deal to know how companies are donating their money.
Well, it's ethics.
I think so.
It's
Right.
good ethics.
It tells you a lot about the company.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, like if I see companies donating to leftist communist causes, I avoid them. I do.
Okay, Andrew, stop listening now.
Here I go.
We all love you, Andrew.
But
I think we need to get back to where it was, where political parties didn't matter.
you know what? I have a new party for you, and it's what's best for mankind.
Yeah.
Gotten away from that, and I actually believe in partisans for the right reason, to keep checks and balances.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem is when you become so independently righteous about your own cause, where you think you're right, you're all wrong.
Where your violence,
Yeah.
where
it's horrible.
you're willing to push someone out onto the street
Yep.
for their political
Yep.
party.
You lose sight of what it's all
That's
about.
getting scary. Andrew sits on the other side of the political aisle than me, but he is a very decent man.
He is a stud.
I hope he quit listening before this part comes out.
Well, and he's been blessed with a gorgeous family.
Dude, his
And,
wife is the smartest human being on earth.
I didn't want to get in trouble, but man,
She is the smart. I've told him
he's
this
done
to his
something
face.
right to get her.
Well, it's not just that. She is the smartest human being on earth. All right, let me tell you what this lady did.
Rebecca is her name.
Andrew
Beautiful.
brews beer. She gave Andrew like a build your own kind of beer drinking area downstairs. It's got a little countertop and it's beautiful, right? He's built a kegerator that's to die for. And without throwing a wall between it, the kids' play area is right next to it. The woman is a genius.
Well, that's the way Brazil is set up. Like the bars and the restaurants and stuff have a play area for the kids.
Really?
Yeah.
The woman is genius. So Andrew goes downstairs to enjoy his beer and becomes a child caretaker at the same time. She is the smartest human being alive.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
Or maybe it's just common sense, and maybe there's some sort of conspiracy against the reality of life that wants to push itself.
Sure. Whatever it is.
Because that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because when we go out to Brazil, we've got, our friends have kids.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the bars and restaurants, and they go play in the.
We should
right there by the
get
bar.
more communal in the U.S. We should become more. But no, and I do appreciate. I appreciate the Freemasons. I do. I appreciate the long history they've given us, and it's undeniable the actions they took throughout history in bringing humanity to where they are now, especially this nation, the design of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good tradition. I hope we don't lose it. I think the Freemasons should probably make an online lodge somewhere.
They do have traveling lodges that meet in various places throughout whatever town they're
Good.
in, which I think is kind of cool. I am a supporter of what brick and mortar lodges. I get it.
Oh, I am too. But
for the ones that don't have it or lost it or can't afford it, they can still carry on that cause wherever they can. I think that's neat because you can be involved.
I think they need an online lodge just to pause this gap between
I think that would be a cool show.
22
I wonder how you
to
could do that.
like 30. Until the men settle down and really want to escape.
How do you even join the Freemasons here in Tooele?
Well, you just took the first step. They have a saying, ask one to be one. And so you have to ask a Mason to be one. So once you actually do that, and that's not really sarcasm, it's the truth, but once you do that, then they would encourage, that said Mason would encourage you to visit your local lodge to get to know them. And when it comes time to issue a petition, part of that petition is you have 2 sponsors and then 2 references, but it says the sponsors need to know you for 6 months. Well, say you never knew a Mason. Well, each lodge has some kind of a meetup or get together, like our local lodge. Great people. They meet the second Friday tonight at 7:00. Typically at 6:00 they'll have a dinner. And so you can come and fellowship and rub shoulders and meet them, and they get to know you, and then you go home, and at 7:00 they start their meeting. And I got to tell you, it's a fine group of individuals, especially here in Tooele. They really are. I know most all of them, and great people. But again, it's the same adage, right? It's all about what you want to do as a man and how you want to improve. And my same elevator pitch for the foundation is the same thing for Masons. If you're a man that has any desire to be a better man, husband, or father through improving yourself and serving others, you might want to check out Masonry. But again, it's not about being involved. And I think that's really cool because you met that guy that's Elks Club, Moose Club, this club, that club, this club. Okay, great. Well, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Those clubs used to serve a purpose.
Exactly. It's what you do with that in your community.
Oh, you can thank FDR for killing him.
Oh, interesting.
That used to be where the community got their insurance.
Oh, gotcha.
They used to be, you'd buy your insurance through your Rotary Club.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And FDR, when he put the pay freeze on, next thing you know, companies still need to compete. They couldn't pay you more,
Well, no insurance involved here.
but they would involve insurance.
Interesting.
And it's destroyed our healthcare system. But
Sounds like a
go
great
on.
setup. I mean, it makes sense because it's a voluntary organization and you can't be excluded from
Well, that's why
volunteering
cities used to have it advertised. You see in older towns, you'd see, oh, turn right to go into whatever, Punksville, and they would have a Rotary Club or a Lions Club.
Oh yeah,
sign,
big on the sign on the road. You'd see all that.
It's because back in the 40s, you'd be like, hey, I
I'll
need
be
to
dang,
pull
I know
over
it.
and get some help.
Wow.
And you'd pull over, you'd go to that Rotary Club. If it was locked or not open, there would be a list of who to call. You'd call the person, say, hey, I'm here. I'm from this, Rotary Club X. And they'd be like, all right, we got you. It was a nationwide group, and it's died.
Wow.
Because FDR, thought he could save the Depression.
Yeah.
Drug out what should have lasted 6 months to 12 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a whole nother subject for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, I think this stuff is great. This is we've gone off track. I tend to do that.
Does this take a lot of your time, Blair?
Willingly, yes, it does. And I have a passion for it, and I'm okay with that. I mean, and my wife loves it. My kids are behind it.
That's half of the battle right there. If your wife is behind you
Yeah.
when you do something like this, you will succeed.
So you brought my wife up, so I got to tell you a quick story.
Mhm.
So I can tell you, my wife works at she's a yard truck driver at the Walmart DC, the distribution center over there, and the only woman that does it out there that I know of. Well, anyways, she always keeps an eye out for these. You can always tell when there's a veteran's truck because they're always decked out and not stickers, what we call wraps or whatever.
Mhm.
But this dude came by and his whole tractor was just eagles and flags and just decked out. And we have these little Hope for Life rubber bracelets that we give away, little freebies, tchotchkes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And she told me she runs out there, flags him down, say, hey man, that's an awesome truck. Are you a veteran? Yeah. She's like, hey, I want you to have this bracelet. You need to check this out. Not knowing him from Adam, right? Well, here's what's cool. I mean, she didn't have to do that. She could have said, Blair, you're an idiot for doing all this. What she didn't know is 2 days later, that dude messaged me and said literally, hey man, how can I get in touch and deal with these demons that I have? I'm like, holy crap. I made her cry. I mean, I made her cry. And
She could have saved his life, right?
Right. And so we connected, and so we're gonna have lunch, and then I hope he comes to the weekend on the 29th. I truly hope he does. You can't make anyone do anything, but you sure encourage them. And again, if you know a veteran, a friend, a family, son that they can benefit from that, if you can't share our message, get a hold of us. We'll share the message for you. Our website's in its infinite stages, but it looks kind of cool, I think. We have a Facebook page.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah. What's your website?
Thehopeforlife.org.
You keep talking because
Sorry.
I do not know how to type.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah. Just all right. Yeah, you may want to just keep talking.
Okay. So either way, we have information venues that we want to get out, and so please let us know. And again, we're in our infinite stages. We're learning. If you want to be involved, if you want to be actually, great segue. Geez, if you want to help us out with this. Our banquet, we can't do it ourselves. We're looking for committee members. I'm actually looking for a committee chairman to chair the banquet. I mean, as good as the board is, we just can't do it ourselves. And so we really need some help. It is a lot of work.
And for those that are just listening in on the podcasts, thehopeforlife.org.
Yeah,
you can't see the website, but thehopeforlife.org is the website.
And it'll be in the show notes. Now, granted, this is a Utah-centric thing right now, but
I'd say it's regional right now.
yeah,
already.
regional.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe you can reach out to Colorado, maybe into Nevada, definitely Idaho, Arizona. But hopefully, if wherever you are, if you need help, reach out, see what can be offered. we do need to, as men in this nation, reach out and take care of our veterans, our especially the ones that are just coming back.
Yeah.
That's the hardest time, is the first 6 months back.
Yep. Yeah, when they're, especially, I remember when I got out of the Army, I didn't sleep but 2 hours a night, and it was weird. And I didn't go through anything bad in the Army. My Army time was it was good time, but I didn't sleep. It felt weird. It felt like I was rudderless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 30. Well, I got 95, so I still miss the structure. I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't.
Yep.
You know?
I debate whether I miss it or not quite often, but you definitely it definitely becomes a part of your soul when you do this.
Well, meaning just I guess the discipline part, Dave. I mean, I manage a lot of people, and I don't want to be a Hitler authoritarian or anything, but the respect level between a leader and I don't want to say, I use subordinate lightly, but on the way there, I mean, if they just listen and have that camaraderie to get a project done. But man, the tension and the crap that goes on in the workplace today because of fear of I might offend you, I might do this, I might do that.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
You learn so much. You learn so much about structure and how to deal with structure in the military that you become just a better, efficient employee on the civilian side.
Yeah,
you really do.
I don't whine about it. Don't do this. Don't do that. Now, if you want to be innovative and bring something new to the table, I'm all about that. That's two-way street, right? So that therefore I'm proving I'm not the authoritarian. But today it just seems like it's just weird. It's a different society.
And you know what? Being authoritarian is not a bad thing. It's more efficient if you have employees who can understand and absorb it.
Listening to this, Joe Biden, he was not speaking at you.
Well, I prefer someone just directly telling me what needs to be done than trying to dance around the butterfly scenario of my feelings.
You're exactly right.
It's just
one of the big things I took away from the military is you learn when directions from a supervisor is a joking, camaraderie building, or it's a call to action. And also you learn that when it's a call to action, they say, I need this done, and you make it your initiative to go and get on it. And that's one of the things I learned. There's not an argument moment. There's not a moment where I need to feel like I was respected. I understand that the task completed is the respect.
Exactly. And let's go, Brando. That's my wife.
I love Brandon.
That's awesome. I come up, it's so funny to say, because if you set the stage in anything, this foundation, a youth group, work, whatever, if you set the stage, meaning this, I come up with a phrase a long time ago that said, it's my job to make you look good. By default, I look good. So it behooves me to do everything I can to make you be successful, knowing that whatever I do or say to you is not derogatory, demeaning, condescending. It's to help you have structure, right? And to give back. And the same thing for me, if I can learn from you. But once you understand that, the tendencies of being offended and being a crybaby, it's all gone. It's get to work, call to action, and get it done.
There is a world of offense right now. And again, it's our fault. We raised these things.
Yeah.
We raised, and maybe we particularly didn't, but our generation did.
Absolutely.
Our structure, and I think it directly boils from how we were raised.
Right. One of the coolest videos I've seen on Facebook, if you've seen it, where apparently this father got totally sick of his kid not doing his work or whatever, back when DVDs and CDs were so relevant.
When he ran the lawnmower with video games.
That was so awesome.
If that thing is real, that is when the kid is over there losing his
mind.
my
gosh. He's a freaking young adult, right?
Oh, he's like 24.
Yeah, like he's 2 or 5.
And the old man's out there with his riding lawnmower. Yeah,
he ran over his video games.
Had all the discs out.
Big old pile, dude. He just goes over it. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is a good one. Blair, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
This is good stuff.
It is.
And hang around for a minute. I want to chat with you after about something we mentioned before.
All right.
But everyone, so if you're a veteran and you need some help, reach out. If you're a man and you need some help, reach out.
If you want to contribute and volunteer, reach out.
Definitely.
And on that note, if I may, it's okay to reach out.
Yeah.
You're not a lesser man. You're not a puss. You're not a wimp if you think you need help.
Well, here's a question. As a man, if you need to figure out how to do something in your house, say a plumbing job, are you afraid to reach out for help to do that plumbing?
Some guys are.
But I mean, are you afraid, like, even if you
But I get what
won't
you're saying,
hire
yeah.
someone, will you go get a book on
Oh, right,
plumbing and
right,
study
right.
up? Or maybe dive into the YouTube education? Or
So why wouldn't you do it for yourself?
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. So if you have a fault in your life, such as you're having some abrasion in your family or abrasion in your work life, reach out. And
Even if you don't know what your faults are, maybe you just have a hard time discovering what they are and realizing, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was having that particular fault.
I'm so glad you said that, because the weekend that we host addresses those, it uncovers those, it peels it back, it pulls a scab off, and allows you and enables you to address those.
Yeah, that's
to
half of the
heal.
battle.
Because one of the questions I ask people, hey, if you're wounded, okay, I got it, and I this comes from an arrogant guy, I get it, but I ask him, hey man, is that wound fresh? Is that wound got a scab on it, or is it scarred over? Is it healed? And you can easily tell if it's got a scab on it.
those are probably the biggest ones to break through.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, imagine taking on like some guy from the chosen, from the chosen valley right now. What's that scar look like?
Right.
I mean, that guy's been through everything. Retirement. He's probably got no one left. I mean,
Yeah.
so just go further. I mean, right now, taking in guys from Vietnam, and I wanted to close this show out with a call out to something. Maybe you guys will join me in that. But so this Veterans Day was yesterday, and I want to thank all the veterans, especially the Vietnam veterans. One, we're quickly losing them, and they've gone through it. They're the ones that's built that scar. And out of all the wars that the U.S. have been involved in, Vietnam is the one that has had the most sustained contact. And
True.
what they do is they measure contact on days per month in contact, in exchanging fire. And maybe that's because it was the first police action, asymmetrical warfare, whatever. But and to double down on that, when those young men came home, they were abused by the general populace.
Yeah.
So I want to extend a special thanks to them. I know that they had to keep quiet for years.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all through the 70s and 80s, Vietnam vets did not
Didn't say a
talk.
word.
They didn't talk to you. They wouldn't tell you they were a vet. And it wasn't until the early 2000s they started coming out. And they came out in support of the new generation that was that was going abroad.
And as a veterans, we owe them a lot, because
Mm-hmm.
it was the breakthrough at the VA even.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And like my father-in-law, he, because of the Desert Storm, that compared nothing, obviously, but because of that generation, those two working together broke that paradigm.
Yep.
And now those Vietnam vets are getting help for PTSD, which they
Yep.
didn't before. They didn't recognize it.
Yep.
They didn't recognize
Well, not just
Agent
that.
Orange.
Not just that, but imagine coming back. Your government has betrayed you. The people hate you.
Yep.
Well, you're going to come back. You're going to get your nose down, and you're just going to go get a job. You're going to grow your hair long so they don't know you were ever there.
Right.
It's a survival instinct to
And-
just
yeah.
fade away.
And yeah,
unfortunately, it really feels like we're going back there.
it feels like something's going back.
yeah,
Feels like there's a shift going
across the board, police
Mhm.
officers, firemen, veterans,
Mm-hmm.
that respect level.
I don't know. I've never had a problem acknowledging my past history in the military
Mm-hmm.
like those Vietnam vets.
Nothing.
Now that you
nothing
actually put it in
compared to
that perspective,
Nothing.
I couldn't imagine.
There is no time in history that probably compared to that. I'll bet the French corsairs came back from Russia and didn't get treated like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But yeah, but it was a different time. That was something else.
Yep, true.
That was our first experiment in whatever we've got going on. But thank you for coming in. This has been an outstanding chat, and I'm very happy to hear that we have this resource in our county, being run through our county and fostered in our county and everything else. I think we've got to put together the history show on Tooele County, or the history shows. This is a county. This is a place. This county, these cities in this county, is a place where magic has always happened.
Absolutely.
It's a very supportive population.
It's not just that, but ingenious people come out of this county. It's hard to believe. I know. But we'll be putting some history shows together.
That's cool. That really is. I'm a history guy, so that's way cool.
Yeah. I bleed it into everything I do.
Awesome.
Anyways,
Thanks again for having me.
Christine, vulnerability is strength, not weakness. And
Agreed.
You are correct. And it causes more strength with growth and you and your husband and everything else. It builds a better community. It makes better children, makes better everything. All right, Blair, thank you for coming on. Everyone go to the show notes, sign up, go to Hope for Life on Facebook and sign up there, follow them.
You can get your own coin and patch and t-shirt and hat.
These coins
They are pretty kick-ass coins, I will say.
God, these are gorgeous. I received coins from 3-star generals when I was in. Not because I did anything special, just because I always stood in the dumbest place to wear. And these coins look better than that. These are beautiful coins. This is second only to the coin that I got from the Sergeant Major over 2nd Infantry Division.
Shout out to Symbol Arts.
Yeah, Symbol
in
Ogden,
Utah.
Man,
I like it.
This is beautiful. Beautiful work, Symbol Arts. I think we need to, reach out to them and everything else. And then stick around. I want to chat with you about what we chatted before and get that going. Everyone, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank Blair for coming on and
wasn't too bad, was it?
Putting himself out.
No, I was a little worried.
You liked it? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. If you know a veteran, don't go up and hug them, but
ask them how they are.
Yeah.
Shake their hand.
Ask
if
them
they
how
Shake their hand.
Yep. It's a powerful question. How you doing today?
Yeah. Just sit down and have a conversation.
It's a special holy weekend for us veterans, especially those who've really had to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good night. Good week.
Good night.